TikTok, people talk about it as surveilling U.S. users. And yes, it does. Apple caught it twice this year, in April and June, doing that. But also TikTok, many people believe, has been surreptitiously downloading software on user devices. And the biggest sin of all is China's manipulation of American political opinion through TikTok. TikTok has very powerful artificial intelligence. They use it to influence Americans by the videos that they see, because those are curated by algorithms that are actually developed in Beijing and then inserted into the TikTok software in the United States.
And recently I interviewed Robert Spalding at Hudson Institute. He says the greater threat from China in the future may not be a military one, but their moves to dominate global technology. Now, that's the subject of your book. How important is it for the United States to challenge China in the high-tech area?
Well, it's absolutely critical, because high technology is going to dominate the economy of the world, and we want Americans to have that technology. China's been stealing it by hundreds of billions of dollars a year of intellectual property. And so clearly Beijing feels this is important. Xi Jinping, the Chinese ruler, has his Made in China 2025 plan to dominate first 10 and now 11 critical tech sectors. So this is the space race of the 21st century.
And how about Chinese efforts, Gordon, to change the outcome of the November election? You alluded to this about influence on social media like TikTok. So how great is that effort, in addition to just electronic hacking? I know the president says they could print mail-in ballots. So how likely is that?
Well, China could very well be trying to mess with the infrastructure of the electoral process, because much of it is done online these days. But what I focus on is what China has been doing to manipulate opinion. So, for instance, there have been these malicious disinformation campaigns about the coronavirus and about the George Floyd protests. But also China has got its troll farms operating. So we've got all of these fake accounts. And Twitter, for instance, in June, took down 174,000 fake Chinese accounts. Other social media platforms have done the same thing. Just last week, they found another one, or they know about another one, and they actually started to move against it. That's the Splamophage Dragon operation. So China has been working very, very intensely, and they are going to be in our election much more than Russia was in 2016.
And it's not just their efforts to influence the election through public opinion, but I've got to ask you about the mistreatment of Christians in China, because that's getting worse. And the independence of the Catholic Church is almost non-existent now. There's a crackdown against house churches that's intensifying. Why now, Gordon?
Well, Xi Jinping, I guess, feels that faith is the enemy of communism. And so we have seen moves across the board. It's not just Christianity, of course. It's also Islam. And even, and this is absolutely fascinating, Gary. They're going after Buddhism, which is considered to be a Chinese religion. So really what it now is a full front campaign. And I think it's because Xi Jinping believes he's got the ability to do it with his total surveillance state. And I think he feels insecure enough so that he believes that now's the time.
And something Mao never had, right? So what should we do about these China challenges, Gordon? Will it really make a difference no matter who wins the presidential election in November? Can China be stopped, or is it too late?
Oh, we can easily stop China. And the moves that President Trump has been taking recently have been extremely effective, especially the ones against Huawei and, of course, the trade issues with the Section 301 tariffs. We got to remember, Gary, that every American president tries in the first year in office to come to some sort of accommodation with Beijing. And President Trump did that in 2017. If Biden were elected, and this is forgetting about how Biden feels about China, but if Biden were elected, he would be wasting months and maybe years trying to do the same thing. And right now, we don't have any moments to lose because China is relentlessly attacking us across the board. So that's the reason why this is a concern about the continuity of China policy, which, by the way, for the first time in 3 decades, is actually working to the advantage of the United States.
And a real sense of urgency now. Gordon Chang, China analyst, author of The Great U.S.-China Tech War. Thank you, Gordon. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here, sharing your insights.
Well, thank you, Gary.
And you can hear more from Gordon Chang and Lee Smith on the John Durham investigation and mail-in balancing vote fraud. It's all on the Global Lane tonight at 9:30 Eastern, only on the CBN News Channel.